Hello, my beautiful family, my beautiful soul family. This is Tessa with Fiery Love 1111, and I'm here to do a quick update on this transformation of our ego breaking down and truth stepping in. I um, I wanted to see how the energies have changed since yesterday because that reading was so powerful. And if you have not seen it yet, I really highly recommend um, you look under my live videos and see the one I just did yesterday. It's an hour and a half. I didn't know it was going to be that long. It just happens that way. and check it out. It's very powerful. Okay. And it holds a lot of truth. And these are the things that I'm hoping to teach you all is about what ego really means and how we can transform that. We can transcend that 3D um, way of being and transcend into our higher selves and acknowledge our higher selves and connect with our higher selves more on a daily basis. Okay. So it's really important to try to pay attention when the darkness of the ego can be really rough to deal with. It really can. And some people have a lot harder times than others. I will say that. Others we can, there are some people out there that can recognize what their ego is right away and transcend it faster. But, it's all just a learning process. Everybody learns at a different pace. It's no perfect way. Okay. What matters, Spirit says, is that we learn to decipher that. Once we learn to decipher what it really means, when you connect with your ego and when you recognize that it's just a survival mechanism for our human bodies, you can transcend that. You can almost, not transmute it, because as long as we're alive in a human body, we have to deal with our ego, right? But you can learn to tap into that and connect to it and control it and not let it control you. Once you learn that, your ego will start to transform and take over and throw all these fear tactics at you and all these things, and you can recognize that you can put a stop to letting that ego rule you. And once that happens, you can really truly transform your life. You really can. So, this is why I'm just dedicated to making these videos to help us on this earth plane to recognize these things and just be better than we used to be. Okay, this is my goal. This is who I am as a spiritual person, as an intuitive reader, intuitive medium, a psychic. I want to help others because of what I've learned myself and all the soul growth I've done. And I want to pass this on and just encourage people, everybody as much as they can, just to push themselves and not settle for what is right now. Okay. Because what is, we can settle for what is, but what is that, right? It's just our five senses. It's whatever we can process with our five senses, six senses, you could say, of our human body, right? You know, Spirit wants to know, do you really want to settle for that, or do you want to know more? Are you curious about really what is on the other side? Because there's so much more that us as spiritual beings, that beings of energy and light and love, that we can transcend. We can transcend these limited ego senses and our five senses of our body and expand and just grow and grow and grow and grow and just not stop. And so it's just amazing. Well, anyway, I'm going to try not to make this a really long video. I just want to tap into doing an update on how our souls, and I don't want to say divine masculine, divine feminine per se, because don't forget, we all have divine masculine and divine feminine within us. Okay. So this is, for whoever resonates with this, if you start to listen to these messages and some of these messages come through and say, hey, I just dealt with that. Yes, I get it. I understand now. I just dealt with this, right? Then you're part of this group that I'm tapping into. It's a big collective group of souls that I'm helping to grow and transcend. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And if these messages don't really resonate for you, but you learn a little bit of something, then that's fine too. That's just fine. Okay. So anyway, let's just get into it. So I drew these cards last night, and the messages were really kind of deep, but they weren't meant for last night. They were meant for today. So it was really kind of odd because it's almost like spirit was showing me that this is you know, it's so hard to explain as a reader because time is irrelevant in the spirit world, right? The universe, our spirit guides, our guardian angels, whatever you want to call it. There is no time in the spirit world, okay? So we only deal with time on the earth plane. So when I say I pulled these cards for tomorrow, yesterday, it's because Spirit already knew what was going on. Spirit already knew what was happening and getting worked on. And yes, we have free will. Yes, we can change at any time. But this is something that was explosive. And it just changed a lot of people. Okay. So just pay attention to this. All right. It's kind of hard to explain, but just roll with me. Okay. I'll try to do the best I can in a shortest amount of time. Okay, that's what I want to try to do for y'all. So just try to keep that in mind. And if you wouldn't mind, clicking down below, hit the like, subscribe, and share button with your friends. I've only had this channel just a few months, and I would really appreciate, any shares and likes, subscribes you can give me. It just really helps me out a lot. And this is what I love to do. Okay. So anyway, this pile up here is like a past energy. Okay. And this is like, I think pretty much it's present time, relatively give and take. And this is energies that are working. I really can't describe this energy of the bottom because I think these energies have been working on these energies, and I haven't turned these cards over. Okay, I've just seen the bottom cards, and this is just what I'm picking up on, what it really feels like. But I wanted to turn them over in front of you, do this live, so we can just get a good hook on this and start to figure this out, how we're changing and evolving as souls. Okay. So the first, very first card that popped up was the Tower. All right. Now, how the Tower is an energy, and I am using the Tarot of Sexual Magic, so there are some explicit cards in here. And if you don't care for it, you can just click off now. But if not, if you're fine with it, then this is what I will be showing. Okay. So the Tower card is coming out as far as some past energies. Okay, so it's a lot of moments that have happened in the past with, this one came up, stabbed in the back, says heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. There's been a lot of that in the past with this soul group that I'm talking about and getting into the energy of. But at the same time, when this happened, with this being stabbed in the back, the dragonfly popped in. Okay. And it's very straightforward energies just coming through and saying, finding out, being lighthearted, things coming to light, adopt, change, heal. So this Tower moment happened after this heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack happened. This Tower moment happened. And what that means, if you're first time on my channel and first time reader and listener and watcher, viewer, it just means where there's moments in your life where you have an aha moment, but it's such a strong aha moment that it literally changes your life. And it can be related to past lives. It can be related to, this life, but it's very, very intense. Okay. It literally it tears down a Tower moment's about like tearing down all the old, in traditional tarot, it's actually a tower crumbling down. Okay. And it means literally the old ways of thinking are totally being torn down, and you're just being made fresh and new, and you have a new way of thinking because whatever happened to you was just crazy and explosive, and like I said, it changes you forever, right? So all these things happened in the past, but the dragonfly popped in, being lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adopting, changing, and healing. So this is stuff that happened within our ego, okay? It's not necessarily, with other people. It's the energies within us that this happened to, okay? So our ego felt stabbed in the back, okay? There wasn't like somebody came in and said, and had an affair or things like that. It's our ego that was stabbed in the back because our ego is a protection device, right? So roll with me on this, okay? The ego is the thing that says, don't do that, don't do that, don't talk, don't jump off that cliff, or don't, try that new job because what if you get hurt? What if somebody hurts you? What if this doesn't work out? Right? Like that's your ego screaming at you to not do these things because, it's a protection mechanism. That's all it is. It's survival for food, sex, shelter, water, that's what your ego is. So the stabbed in the back is this breaking down of our ego. And this happened in the past, okay? So, and I mean the past, it may be 3 days ago. It doesn't have to be like years ago, okay? This is literally like, it is the past, but it's not that long ago, okay? And then this dragonfly comes in, causes this tower moment, and it causes all these things coming to light, finding out and adopting and changing and healing and learning that, oh, okay, this was just my ego talking. Now, this is all on a subconscious level. We weren't probably aware of it, okay? It's not like we said, aha, oh my goodness, that was my dumb ego doing this. No, it wasn't like that, It's very like a subconscious, almost subtle energy that happened that made this transformation come about. But once that did, okay, this an abundance of new knowledge came in, okay? Keeping a positive mindset. Just all abundance, it doesn't really have to do with these words down here, but abundance is the new that came in, the new knowledge, the new aha, transformed the way of thinking, okay? And then along with that tower moment, there was this major death of the ego, because there was a lot of twin flames that met, okay? The twin flames, and in this one, I don't know when it happened. It wasn't possibly just 3 days ago. It was a while ago, right? Like a year or so, whatever. I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of twin flames that had met, and it caused a major death of the ego, because when two twin flames come together, it is this fiery awakening of your soul, and it cannot be helped. There's no way to transcend it, transmute it. You cannot avoid it. It literally blows your soul up, because twin flames are two halves of the same soul, and when they meet, it's very, very powerful, and it's a triggering effect, because what it does is it triggers us inside to work on all the crap that we had ever gone through, because we come back together as twin flames to help each other grow. So it's very triggering for each other, for the divine masculine, divine feminine, or two divine feminines, two divine, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about that. And it transcended that. It caused a huge death of what we used to know right before the twin flames met. We had this certain life when we knew what we wanted, and it was just a normal thing. And when the twin flames met, it was just like boom, and it was just so incredibly powerful, and it caused this. It was a death of the old way of being. It could not be helped. And from that day forward, with that twin flame, your life has been changed. And it's just a complete, it's irreversible. You'll never go back. You'll never be the same person again once twin flames met. And once they do that, it triggers. Twin flames always trigger us to work on our shadows, work on our darkness, and make those healthy choices in love and life, self-care, self-love, being happier. This is all what twin flames do for each other. So it transcended that ego, kicked that ego's ass, caused the death of the ego, which was right after and right the almost probably the same time as the tower moment. It transcended it and helped us to realize, you know, they help each other be better than they used to be, transcend and love each other more and love ourselves more. It's a self-love, okay? They trigger each other to find self-love. Okay, that's what twin flames incredibly do, right? And then it also caused this fool's energy, which was just this complete joy and love and unlimited possibilities. And the fool's energy, these twin flames just came together, and it was just this incredible, credible connection, and nothing like they had ever felt before or since. It doesn't. It was just an incredible energy shift, right? And, with all this happening, because how twin flames are, not even just twin flames, soul connections, soul contracts, anybody with soul contracts, soul connections, especially soul contracts. This is something that you came here to work on, to do. You signed up for this before you even were born, and this is what happens, right? And so the sword and the rose, it comes in and all this clarity and truth and revelation and all these energies just come flying in, and you the lives were changed. Okay, the lives were changed. And it also just, it made us as twin. I am a twin flame and also have a soul contract with somebody, and like I can kind of I relate to this too, right? So it caused, there was a lot of unions happening, reunions, a huge soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. It was, ignited our souls within, found our true loves. Major bliss was being talked about. Major bliss was being felt between the two, and just this energy exchange back and forth. Finally, after however long, was reignited. Okay, it was reignited. So that ego, it went on the wayside because we have, you could get more connected to your higher purpose. Okay, so the higher purpose of what we are as souls, and having a soul contract, and knowing that we are a spark of the same energy that made us, changed. It changed everything. It changed the way we look at life. It changed the way we think, we act, how we feel, everything. Okay. And I'm going to say we, just because I'm a part of this same thing I'm talking about. It can't be helped, right? So then the next, so this is like the present, kind of like present give or take energies that are going on right now, as far as the, the ego that we're talking about, right? So, here's this Queen of Pentacles and this Eight of Swords. So this is another thing that happened, right? This is like, you can see this man with this woman, and divine masculine, divine feminine, and he can't touch her. He can't lean down on her because this love was so strong, was so incredibly strong between them. It was like almost shocking. Like this very much commonalities, so much in common. There was so much that was, it was like looking in a mirror, right? And so he's so taken aback by how much, they're just so perfect for each other that he can't, it's almost like, whoa, is this really real? Is this real? This can't possibly be real. So he's holding himself up. He's holding himself back from being with her because of the shock of this connection. The shock of this connection just, it was mind-boggling. That's all I can say. Spirit says it's just mind-boggling, right? And he, and then here's this Queen of Pentacles coming in, and this, divine masculine, this group of divine masculines, just had this awe for their divine feminines, and it was like, I've never felt this way. Look at him, how he's sitting there, and he's kind of barely touching her leg and looking down like, I have never felt this way before. I cannot possibly even fathom how perfect she flippin' is, right? She's very freaking like perfect. and I can't fathom it. And no one's ever done this to me before. No one has ever done this to me before. And I can't understand how this can happen, right? It's like a just very shocking energy. And then you have the cards that are saying, not enough, frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, jealousy, and then the talking, right? So these are all the issues that came out in the souls when those soul contracts happened, when those souls met again and had that reuniting. It ignited all these issues, right? It brought up all those ego issues to the surface, and we were forced to face them directly and work on them, right? So they both felt like there wasn't enough. There was a lack of the confidence, self-sabotaging, fear, ego issues, jealousy. Mostly I see on the divine masculine side, not as much on the divine feminine side, but it was there, right? And then there's this, there was a lot of communication between them at first, a lot of communication. And it's no matter what, whether communication happened or not, it still brought up all these issues: the self-sabotage, lack of confidence, fear, ego, jealousy. It was just huge, right? Because it's never happened before. No one ever triggered somebody the way soul contracts and twin flames trigger each other. Okay. So it was just, quite huge. I'm just going to fix my camera there. Sorry. And then the magician comes in, and the magician is all about change, right? The magician is all about, to me, okay, I don't read tarot as it normally is. I read tarot as I see it as an energy. And to me, this magician says making your own magic, making your own way, and making your own way on how things should be, right? And the card that goes with it is the transcending, ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union, because these things were happening, right? The transition, the magician is that energy between the two souls and soul contracts that are ascending. They're ascending, they're learning, they're growing. And even when you think you're not, you are. Okay, spirit says, even when you think you're not learning, you are. Make no mistake about it, okay? And so, there's just more and more transcending obstacles, working past our ego, working through our ego, working past it, being aware of it and shutting it down, and knowing what our higher purpose, or just knowing and being aware of ourselves as souls is what I mean, okay? Recognizing that ego and then letting that go and realizing you are a spiritual being having a human experience, okay? It's not you're a human being and all of a sudden you just have this spiritual experience once in a while. It's not like that. Okay, we're spiritual beings having this human experience, and this is what the twin flames do. They bring out the magician in ourselves to transcend and to grow and to fight these ego issues and to transcend all these 3D issues that have been in our souls, down in our souls for lifetimes. Okay, it brings them up. It brings them up and ascends, it transcends, it transmutes it. Okay. And then here we have the emperor. And so the emperor shows up and, I don't know if you can see how he's just enamored with his divine feminine, right? Like you can see how he's holding his staff, and it's not really a staff, but whatever. You know what I mean? I can't get into that on YouTube. But anyway, but because this happened, okay, because this transformation happened, and because this ego issues and all this fear and ego issues and jealousy was brought up, it brought about the separation. It brought about the separation because it brought out the fear. It brought out the ego issues. It brought out the jealousy. It brought out all these issues that, and I apparently this is more of a divine masculine reading. I'm not really sure because they're mostly going towards divine masculine cards. I just read how the energy comes in. Sorry. I'm a mailman. I'm just a delivery lady, right? So there's a sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of future. He wanted to be with her, but every time he thinks of her and every time he wants to be with her, it brings up that ego issue. So that's still fighting that ego, fighting that fears, fighting that jealousy, fighting the old rage and sadness and wanting to transcend it, because this The divine feminine is who he can see. He can only see her. He can only see her. It doesn't matter, you know, if there's any other divine feminines out there, it doesn't matter. This is all he wants. It's all he feels. It's all he wants. It's all he needs is her. Okay. So this separation was necessary in order to grow. Okay. The separation had to had to happen, Spirit says, because when sometimes people are in soul contracts, and especially with twin flames, the growth does not happen when they are together. It can't, because there's too much bliss there to think about working on yourself. So when you separate, it triggers, and it triggers the need to fix ourselves. It's really kind of deep, but it's also very really cool. So that's what's going on right now. That's what's happening right now. Okay, transcending the obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for you. This is ascension is happening right now because in this soul connection that I'm talking about, there is surpassing our ego. It's learning to face that ego, face that jealousy, face that darkness, face that fear, and say, you know what? You don't rule me anymore. I rule me, and my higher self says that no longer serves me. It's our higher self stepping in to say that ego no longer serves me. That jealousy hasn't done me a damn bit of good. You know, the rage, the sadness, the ego, the pride, all these issues that have just been piling up, you know, are getting transcended because this is what's happening, okay? And the three that are working on to help this in this process are justice. Justice came out, look at this. Justice came out with karma. Okay, justice, karma, and temperance, all three of them came out together, right? So this is just, you know, huge energies, and they are within us also, okay, because we are the same spark of the divine that working on us. So it's coming out within us as souls to fix these things that we need to fix. So if their justice is coming out and balancing these scales, balancing the scales, okay? Because if there wasn't the same give and take, if the give and take was off, if there was, you know, there's just all kinds of anything that wasn't even, if it wasn't balanced, justice is here to balance it. That's how it works, okay? And within that energy, okay, within that energy and within these soul contracts, this is what their work justice is working on. Okay, and I haven't even looked at these cards till just now. Like, justice is working on fixing the snake, the competition, the enemy, the clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, the other woman, anything that's I even just got karmic relationships. This is justice is fixing this. Justice is coming in and fixing these energies to make it right within these soul contracts, right? And it also helps in to bring in this passion, the insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. Justice reminds us in these soul contracts that this is what we have. Okay, I don't know if you can see these cards. I'm sorry, the glare is kind of stupid. You know, justice is reminding us that you know, I will fix the snake energies within you. I will fix these snake energies, and I will remind you of the passion that you have for each other, and remind you of the love that you hold for each other. Unconditional love, the self-love, the oneness within us for each other, and the oneness that is within us as a soul contract, as twin flames. It's reminding us that the passion, the affection, the attraction, justice is here and fixing this. Okay, and it's fixing this, and it's letting go of all that snake energy, which is ego energy. It is ego energy. Okay, make no mistake of that. Justice will have its way. Justice will have its day and have its way. And there's just no getting around it, okay? These scales will be balanced. There's just no way around it. Okay, Spirit says there just isn't. And then judgment is here, karma. Judgment is karma, and calling in the judgment within ourselves, okay? Like I said, they're not actually energies that are outside of us. They're energies that are within us. Okay? We are wisdom, we are love, we are knowledge. You know, in our higher selves, in the spirit world, that is what we are made of, okay? And it's just a matter of how much you're learning, at the level which you are. There's not one person that is like smarter than it. It's not like you're smart. I'm going to think of how this is being said in the spirit world. It's not like you're smart and you're dumb, right? It's never like that. It's the level of smartness or wiseness. Actually, it's wiseness is used in the spirit world. It's the level of the wiseness. Nobody's dumb, nobody's stupid, it's the level of learning. That's all it is in the spirit world. That's all it is. It's all love. We all encourage each other to grow. We all encourage each other to be better than we used to. There's never, ever, ever, ever anybody that puts anybody else down, ever. It's never like that. It's never like that. Because in the spirit world, we don't have an ego. We don't have an ego. All we have is love. We know we are all that spark of the same divine, that same spark of energy that created us is what we are made of. So there is no negative anything. Okay? It's only a lack of. Do you see what I mean? It's not anything. It's only a lack of. It's not that you're dumb. It's a lack of learning. That's all it is, And I have to be very careful of how I say that because it's very true in the spirit world. I know this. I live half of my life in that world and half my life here. And I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of dying because that's how it is. It's all love over there. It's all just the level of learning. Okay? There's strength and then there's needing strength. Okay? Think about it this way. There's love and there's needing love. It's never anything like, oh, there's love and there's hate. It's this person is love and this person really needs love. And I don't care. And this may trigger people and this may piss people off. But if you find somebody that's a murderer, serial killer, there's a whole nother video I can do on that. But it's needing love. That's what it is. And I can go deeper on this, comment below if you want to know more about this. I can go deeper on this because it is a truth, okay? My videos, I'm here to speak truth, and that is the truth. Okay? There's love and there's needing love. There's strength and there's needing strength. And those are just two examples. That's how it works in the spirit realm. In heaven, whatever you want to call it, in the universe, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So karma is here and dealing with this heartbreak. Karma is dealing with these two issues and making them right. Wow, this is just crazy. Karma is dealing with the, it says watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Karma's fixing this. Okay, karma is coming in, stepping in, and fixing this. And karma is reminding the people that have done this that if they don't fix it, they will fix it themselves. And this is the exact same message I gave yesterday. And this is the same energy that's coming in again. Karma's still here. Karma's still going to work on it. And I'm sorry if you can't see it. It's just a dumb glare. I can try to hold this up better. Judgment is that energy that's going to fix this, because all this energy of the watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, it caused a lot of heartbreak. Okay, so it caused a lot of heartbreak to happen, and and this is what karma is fixing. Karma is fixing that within both of us, within both parties, both people that happened, because the people that did this, the gaslighting, the watching, the stalking, the looking, focusing out, perception, there was something that was within them they needed to get fixed, right? So karma's here fixing both. There's not one bad person and one good person here. It doesn't work like that. Okay, karma's fixing the lack of. Okay, so if this happened, if you know somebody that was doing this, it's because there was a lack of something that they needed to find within themselves. So karma's fixing that. Karma's saying, hey, you know what? Did you ever stop to think that maybe, you were doing this looking and stop gaslighting and all this stuff because of a lack of self-esteem? You know, maybe that's something you should consider. And spirit talks like that and asks you that. They don't tell you, they don't condescend. They say, look inside yourself. Why were you doing this? Karma will step in and help you to realize what caused this, and karma will fix it. Okay. And if they don't try to fix it themselves, and if there are souls out there that are ignoring it and trying to forget about it and run away from it, karma's going to step in and fix it anyway. It doesn't matter. It's karma. You cannot run from it. You cannot run from karma. You cannot run from judgment. They're here. It's an energy of the universe. It's an energetic law. It's a universal law. Okay. And judgment will always have its day. And karma will always have its way too. It's just a universal law. So find that within yourself, Spirit says. If you know this is triggering you right now for me to say these things, then, I'll give you an example like I do. Go to bed with them. Set that intention to, when you go to sleep at night, say, I'm going to go to sleep with judgment. I'm going to sleep and sit. When I go to sleep, I'm going to sit with judgment. I'm going to sit with karma, injustice, and I'm going to get to know them, and they're going to get to know me. And then when you wake up, you'd be so surprised how much it changes your system, how much it changes you. Literally, in your soul, you will know what that energy means. You will know and transcend. You will know. Just set that intention that you want to learn this, that you really truly want to, and spirit will come in and help you. They'll help you learn. They'll help you see those things that you were lacking of, and they'll help you fix it. It's not a scary thing when you embrace it and when you want to fix it, when you want to change. It really isn't. It's not anything that's scary, okay? And then temperance is coming in. Temperance is always the balancing of all the energies within us, the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine within us and within soul contracts, within twin flames, within soul unions, anything that, soul partnerships, doesn't matter how you describe it, how you say it. Temperance is here fixing this. And look at this. Look at the cards that came out. I just now looked at that. Healing heart. Temperance is healing those energies, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addiction. Temperance is here healing all this right now. Okay? And soulmates. Temperance is reminding these soul connections about these soulmates, soul connections, twin flames, all these energies of these soul partnerships are getting healed through temperance. Temperance is helping to balance that energy within us as souls and within the collective, within these groups, okay? It's a complete transformation that's going on. And temperance is reminding us that there is a soul contract and agreements that were signed before we came down here, and you cannot transcend that. You cannot ignore that. You cannot leave that and say, oh, never mind. I changed my mind. It's a soul contract, right? So temperance is reminding us lovingly and gently, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm healing. This is what I'm reminding you of. And it's a very loving energy, okay? Don't ever think that, how I'm talking about this is very rough and stoic and solid and mean and blah. It's not like that at all. They're very loving. They're it's a universal law and it cannot be transgressed. It cannot be changed, right? So you either can flow with it and help it work for you, but but if you work against it, it's just going to cause more problems in your life until you fix it. That's pretty much all it is. If so roll with it, Spirit says, roll with it. Ask to sleep with justice and judgment and karma. Judgment and karma are the same thing. And temperance. Ask to sleep with them. These cards keep showing up every time I'm trying to do a reading because they're here. I don't pick them. You should see how they flow out. They fly on the floor sometimes to get their message through, We're here, we're working on you, we're helping you. So acknowledge them, and say hi. Say hi. Try to meditate, say hi, and say, how can you help me today? I need some help. Do you mind helping me, please? Help me see what I need to fix. Ask karma. What do I need to fix? How can I help? How can I fix this? Or ask judgment, ask temperance. Come into my life and help me. Help me fix this within myself. Because when you can fix it, okay, this is how energy works. Like attracts like. Don't forget that. So when you can, and I just looked at the clock and it said 40:40. So that's a huge, if anybody's into all these soul numbers, if you're seeing a lot of dual numbers, they mean something. Angel numbers mean something. But anyway, don't forget, the universal law, like attracts like, right? So when you I forgot where I was going with this. Sorry, I get sidetracked. When you want to fix something and asking, you know, these energies of temperance and justice and judgment and karma to come in and help you, you bring that awakening within yourself, because it's always there within you. It's just a matter of, do you want to awaken to that energy? Because we're all made of these energies, right? So when you awaken to that and you connect with that, and you realize one day, say you wake up and realize, I do have temperance in me. I feel more balanced, right? Well, you attract that in somebody else, because like attracts like. So think about that. Work on that. Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself, Spirit says, because they're here to help you. They're really here to help you. Your spirit guides are here to help you, and they love you, and they want to help you. And your higher self always wants to help you too. So don't ever forget that. They're always here to help. Okay? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this energy update about our ego and transcending that and transforming that into our higher purpose. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and take care, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye.